Hello, I am Carrie, and this is Beyond the Womb Tarot, where I channel messages that help you continue to grow beyond the womb or expand your mind outside of your current comfort zone to enable you to become your highest self. All right, we are back with another reading, and this is another collective reading. Right now, there's all kinds of things that are going on. We got a Venus retrograde. There's an eclipse coming up. It is Pisces season. Things are changing and moving, and it's the end of the zodiac year. We're about to start over with Aries. So yes, I wanted to do a reading to see what's going on. What do we need to know, understand what's going on right now? And this is that reading. I've already pulled the spread, and I just want to say thank you so much for liking, subscribing, watching this, and thank you so much for your comments too. Okay, I mentioned all these things that are going on, like with the stars, and I'm not super into astrology. I would love to be. I'm just, I'm into tarot right now. I'm working on my astrology, but when I look at these cards, I see like all of these celestial bodies kind of like affecting us. Even this big thing to me reminds me of a moon or sun, but I feel like the effects of what's going on right now astrologically are kind of big. It's like a big influence on us. And I think it just gives us an opportunity to see ourselves in a different light, because as the stars and the moons and planets and whatnot move around, they kind of like change the energy, like the way it comes at us, is directed on us. That's how I understand it. And we get to see different things or different aspects of ourselves that when things are normal, quote unquote, normal, we don't see. So that's what I see right now in this spread. If we just start over here, one of the things that's seriously coming up right now is like an opportunity for us to see different aspects of ourselves. I won't even say different aspects of ourselves, but it's like it's causing us to be able to separate, so that we can look at them. And it's interesting when I talk about separation, because it's not that there is a separation. We are not the different aspects of ourselves. We are the one that is standing in the middle observing these aspects. Aspects over here, and we're here. We don't move. But these things, they change, they move, and whatever. But we're always there witnessing and observing those things. And I think that right now we're getting a chance to really sit in that observer witness energy, and we can see those things separate out from themselves. Maybe they were off over here and it was hard to distinguish between the two. But if they're here and we're here, it's like, oh, they're on the other side of me. I can see them. I hope that is making sense, because that is what I see right now. Over here, Seven of Swords and Nine of Cups. With us being able to understand more about ourselves, I feel like specifically we're able to see like I keep saying two aspects, but there's more than two. But I'm thinking of levels of things. I'm thinking of like a high vibrational part of ourselves and a more low vibrational part of ourselves. And I think it's like a way of thinking of ourselves. It's like there's the victor and there's the victim. We can see both of those right now. We can understand why we're moving the way we're moving based on where both of those are. Are we more in our victim energy or more in our victor energy? Even looking at this Seven of Swords and Nine of Cups, it's both victor and victim, but it is the way in which they're being expressed. If you're the victor and you're on the top of the world, you might not even see some of these like low vibrational things that are coming at you, but that doesn't mean that they're not there, and that doesn't mean that you won't be affected by them. It just kind of means that you might not be like consciously paying attention to it. But again, in the observer position, you get to see it all. And I feel like with this Seven of Swords, it's kind of talking about the energy of you like being on top of the world. Maybe you even kind of like chasing the high type energy, like all the good things in the world, but not necessarily seeing how they could negatively affect you. Like the other day, I went out with my friends and I had a few too many drinks. And I've done this before. I've drank too much before. It's nothing to me. But now I can see how it affects me in the long term. Like, man, my stomach, it's not the same. My stomach is messed up. When I eat things, I can tell that something happened with the alcohol in my stomach to where my digestion is not quite the same. It's going to take a little bit for it to get back into equilibrium. I don't really like that. Whereas before, when I was younger, I didn't necessarily feel like I had these issues. It was all good. Like I can drink and go pop right up the next day. But I'm seeing some longer term effects from my decisions. And it's going to change the way in which I make decisions now in the future. You know, it's going to be like, oh, I had a little bit too much to drink that last time. And it actually took me a couple of weeks to get back, like get my stomach back and get my inner bacteria in my stomach together to where it can digest my food properly. I'm not doing that again because this is not just a short term high. This is like, it's taking me, it's longer term. It's like it's taking the consequences are way more than I thought that they were going to be at this age and the way that I function now and like the way I like to be now, where my center of equilibrium is now. These consequences, they taking way too long. I'm not gonna do that again. Like, it's easy for me to make a decision like that. But for example, if you were chasing a high, like maybe in a job or a career, you really wanted to be the man on top. You want to be that guy. You wanted to be, you know, the one who made all the decisions, etc., etc. But you kind of have seen the backlash from that. If you are that guy that everybody's running to for the decisions, you are always there. You're there 16 hours. People are calling you when you're off. Like you're the most important person, and nobody else knows what to do if you're not there. Is that a balanced career? Is that a balanced way to do your life? I mean, is that how you want to do it? Is it working for you? It's gonna kind of help show you like, okay, in chasing this high, these are some of the negatives that are there. Not saying that this stuff is bad, but like you are again in the center observing, and you're observing the decisions of both sides. Like when I wasn't in control, these types of things were going on, but now I'm the one that's in control. This is the burden that it's placing upon me. Also see this with the sun and judgment. It's like you see, I love how this ghost is coming out of this woman. The sun to me is a great illuminator. It shows, like it takes away the shadows. So you might even see some of your darker shadows of like, oh, the reason that I wanted to be in control in this job is that I don't trust other people to do their job. And I know that me being in control, I can trust like everything's going to get done properly and I'm going to be taken care of because I know that nobody else will take care of me like I will take care of me. But it could kind of like show your trust issues seeing here in this sun. It's like all of that stuff is coming out and coming up for you to observe and look at. Why did I chase this? Why did I end up here? Why was it that I needed this in my life? It doesn't even have to be negative. It can be like, oh man, I needed to get out of that situation, but it took me getting out of there. It took me 5 years of being away from that situation to understand truly why I needed to get away. I thought I was running away, but I needed to see, no, if I stayed there, then I would still be in this same mess. Or if I stayed there, then I wouldn't be able to experience this stuff that would like show me a new way of being. You know what I'm saying? Like you will be able to kind of look and see and understand multiple sides because you're standing in the middle as the observer. I was wondering, I was like, Pisces season, is that how why am I feeling this energy for Pisces season? And I was just looking up stuff about Pisces. And the only thing that I could really see is those two fish swimming in that circle together. It's like, are we the fish? I don't think that we are the fish. We are observing the fish. We get to see the two fish now swimming around. It's kind of like seeing the underlying things, like the things that are in control of us right now. Like understanding, like, this is why I move. This is why I function. This is what is like running me. This is what's making my decisions. This is the part of me, like as the observer, oh, this is why I made that decision because of this other thing over here. And then this, like you're able to put the pieces together, really. And being in this witness observer position really gives us the opportunity to remain in balance. It's like if we are neither of these pentacles that fly, like this looks like somebody's twirling these around right in the air. We're neither of these. We're not being spun around. We're standing in the middle watching the spinning happening. So if we can step back or like zoom back or snap back into reality, into ourselves, like really get grounded and see, which I see here from the Seven of Wands, like get grounded and look and see, oh, I'm always perfectly at peace and in balance. But there are these other forces around me that I can pay attention to. And as I'm watching them, like I'm thinking about a dog watching, I don't know, what do dogs do? I think you're like spinning something and the dog's face is going round and round and round looking at that. if I keep paying attention to that, I can catch the rhythm of it. I can understand like exactly where it's going next. I can see the trajectory. I can see like, okay, this much force is being exerted. If I poke my finger as these little things are going around, this other one's gonna whip back around the other way. Like, you really, as an observer, get to understand the rhythm and the things that are happening, and then you understand like the next move you make, whatever you do next, you can basically predict what's gonna happen next because you understand the things that are going on now. Oh, I hope that makes sense. Like, if you play chess, you can look down at the board. If you're neither of the two people that are playing, so you don't really have that pressure on you of like trying to come up with a next move, but you're the ones who's watching them play, it's like you can see the board from both sides. You can see like this is how the game could stop. But what if we want the game to continue like for the longest period possible? Which move would I make then? Or if I want this one to win, then which move should be made? What if I want that one to win, then this move should be made? What if I want it to be a draw? Like, you can be truly step back and actually be in control. Then we have the King of Wands and the Nine of Wands. King of Wands, it's so funny. You see these two, they're mirroring each other, which is, for me, what I was understanding when it comes to the victim or the victor. Are you the victim or the victor? I feel like we're both, but we're not, because we're the observer, we're the witness. But if you want to be somebody, you would have to be the entire picture and not just one. The victor was never going to be the victor without having first been a victim, because what is it that you overcome if you have nothing to overcome? How can you be a victor or be victorious if there's not a battle that you go through? If someone didn't, try you. So we are both, but at the same time, no one. And when I look at this King of Wands and this Nine of Wands, I feel like when we walk forward and move forward, especially even after like this period of observing or being a witness, it'd be great to stay in this witness position, but sometimes we fall down and we slip. But to remember and know that we were in both positions at one point. Maybe right now we might be feeling victimized by a certain situation and understanding like, okay, I was once a victim, but I was also a victor in this same situation. If I kind of like understand, a similar situation in which, oh man, people are picking on me and I feel downtrodden, and you can come through and see another situation in which, oh man, I'm picking on somebody, or I'm part of a group that is picking on this one person. I understand where they are too. I know both sides of this situation, and now I can understand which way to go forward. I can see clearly the path forward from both a victim and victor's standpoint. I can walk the middle path. I understand, what the right answer is. I feel like that's not a good way to say it, but I can understand both sides, so I know which decision can be made that is going to be beneficial to both sides. I can understand how to make this or turn this situation into a positive. It looks like it's one-sided right now. It looks like it's negative, but how can we turn this into a positive? How can we turn this into a victory for both sides? Or if you're the victim in that situation and you don't feel that you have the power to completely change the situation, how can I have compassion and understand what's going on right now? Understand how that other side is feeling, like why I wish they would feel like they need to come down on me. I just feel like we are being put in a position in our lives. This is not just a situation, because especially with these big celestial bodies, this isn't just like, I went to work and people were mean and I had compassion for them. Like, I feel like this is a big overall thing of, as I look over my life and I see the moments and the decisions that I have made, I understand why I made those decisions and where I was. If I was over here, victim or victor, I can see both sides of why I made those choices and decisions. But now as the observer of both of those things, I can chart my path from that position, from the position of knowledge and understanding of where I can go or where I should go because of that. It's like a whole new lane will open up for you. I don't have to be the top dog or the winner. I don't have to be, subservient or, bowing down to others. I can chart my path to make it however I want it to be to get to my end goal. I could play many different roles. I could be the one who gets what I want. That's the one I want to be. Do I need to be subservient to get there? Let's see. How is that going to work for me? Do I need to be the victor, as in I don't need to listen to nobody at all? How is that going to be? Is that going to get me where I want to be? And so this is you like rebuilding your life, but from a different perspective, even a different dimension. Let's say, like, of somebody who is not blaming or angry or like resentful, but is somebody who can look back and see. I won't even say facts, because sometimes facts are not enough information. If we look here and see the Page of Swords and the Ten of Wands, the Page of Swords is walking around with this book and these little light bulbs. And to me, they're little epiphanies. Like, oh, eureka. I understand this, I understand that. But where do you get all of this information from? You're going to have gone through something. You're going to have like notice, witness, been a part of something, seeing how some things should not have been done, seeing how they should have been done. Like, you basically would have had to live some life. And that's what I see here from the Ten of Wands. It's not possible to be the Page of Swords if you haven't gone through this Ten of Wands energy. It's like, how are you going to have, like, where are you going to get this information from? This, to me, these epiphanies, this knowledge, this book of wisdom that this person is holding as they walk forward is going to be based on the information that you've gathered all through your life. So you looking back on that information and using it as information, and not like, again, if you're in the victim energy, being like, oh man, look at all these terrible things that have happened to me. Darn, darn, darn. No, if you're not in that, but you're not also in this victor energy of like, I've won, I've completed, I don't need to do anything else or change anything different, because that's not going to help you grow and learn. But taking that information of you being on both sides, taking all that information, putting it together, and like basically figuring out how to chart your path forward so that you can get what you want based on those things. Like, ooh, what do I know how to do? What am I good at? How can I like finesse it this way? How can I make it, good for me? How can I show up better? How can I like, what's the best way for me to do this and that and the other? Like, I really hope that I'm saying this properly, or help like in a way that's helpful to understand. But I feel like you knowing these things about yourself, you really being in that witness energy and not judging yourself based on whether you did something right or wrong, but judging, not even judging, but like making decisions based on like, okay, I was good at this, I wasn't so good at that. If I did this, then I was able to do that, and I'm really, I'm quick with it, or, I'm a little bit slower, so maybe I need to take my time on this. Like, I really feel like right now is a good time to look at yourself for real, and see, like, from a witness standpoint, your strengths and weaknesses, your desires, and even your, like, your shadows. Like, ooh, this is the type of stuff that I don't like to confront. So let me, either figure out a way to be able to confront this better or faster, or do my best to avoid these types of situations in which I know I don't need to be in, because I'm no good at those. I think really like looking at yourself for real, we have that time, that option right now, and it's a really good energy in which for us to do that. So I'm gonna get some advice. Let's see. Okay, as I was picking these cards, I was hearing you need to put it in order. Like, all the information that you've been given, you got to put it in order. You got to like use it for your own good and prosperity. Not to judge yourself. Use that information to help yourself. It's a different mindset, a different way of looking at things. So we got Ten of Pentacles, Three of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, Justice, and the Magician. So in this witness position, or in this observer position, I think it's very easy for us to see like the map of our life, right? But it's interesting because the maps, and most maps, they're not no straight line. Maps, there's roads, there's all these other features, there's topography, there's highs and lows, there's places that you cannot go because maybe there's like a huge truncation, like say an ocean. How are you going to get there? How are you going to get over that? Like, there's going to take more planning involved, or it could be a cliff, or it could be somewhere that's too dangerous to go, like a desert that doesn't have any resources in the middle. The map shows you a lot of different information about where you want to go. All you need to know, though, especially in this life, in this map, if it's a map of your life, all you need to know is where you are and where you need to go. That's all you need to know. Like, the details in between, I mean, you need to know more than that, but the details in between, all you need to do is chart your best path to get there. And I think in this instance in time, we are being shown that map and asking like, okay, what's the best path? What's the best path for us? My best path is going to be different from your best path because it's going to have to do with my gifts, skills, and abilities. Like if I cannot swim, then my best path is not going to be across the ocean. Or if I'm afraid of heights, my best path is not going to be to climb that high mountain. My best path is going to be going, like around. You can go around mountains, you know that, right? You don't have to climb them. You can go around them. But everybody's best path is going to differ based on their gifts, skills, and abilities. And right now, we have the option to see our gifts, skills, and abilities and our limitations. Like we see all of it. So we've got over here with the Ten of Pentacles. This to me is it's where we want to be. It's what we really want and truly desire. And I think sometimes, especially if we've been chasing the highs, it's like we've been chasing something that's similar to what we wanted, but not actually what we wanted, because it was like, ooh, I don't really want to have to cross that ocean, so I'm going to just do what I can on this side. I'm not going to worry about getting over there because that's a lot. I'm just going to do what I can on this side. But if you really believe and truly understand, like, I know I actually deserve what I want, then you would figure out a way to get across that ocean. Three of Cups. This has come up a lot in these types of readings, which is very interesting. When I see the Three of Cups, I always think about like friendships or like-minded people who are around you, like it's kind of like community. But in this case, I feel like the Three of Cups is talking about like, if we're talking about seeing multiple aspects of ourselves and kind of like separating, like seeing this part and then that part and that side, I really feel like this Three of Cups is also, I almost feel like it could be in reverse. It's like kind of showing us, because I'm thinking about three cups being poured together, or in the Rider-Waite deck, they're like clinking them together. I kind of feel like them being separated apart, and you seeing like where you got each influence from that made you who you were. If you kind of just like look at the community, if you look at who you're around, what do they say about birds of a feather flock together? Who are you around? Who are you with? Like what types of, especially if you're having trouble seeing who you are, you could literally be seeing who other people are as like a reflection of you, but you might not be seeing that right now. You might be seeing like, look at them over there doing that. You might not see that it's also an aspect of you and also something that you struggle with, or like it's also coming up for you, but you're not able to see it directly within yourself. So you're kind of being shown that outside of yourself. So if you're seeing like some patterns, especially if there's something that's irritating you right now, it's like, okay, it might be something that you should pay attention to within yourself as well. It's something that you could look at least take a look at. And then Ace of Pentacles, this new beginning. This is like, especially when I see this Ace of Pentacles, because we were looking at the Two of Pentacles going around and round, but this Ace of Pentacles is very solitary by itself. It's that new beginning. It's that like, it's that opportunity to be in that witness position and like literally level up your way of thinking. I feel like it's going from blame and shame and like, cause and effect to this is what has happened and this is what I would like to happen. And so I'm going to go towards what I want happen, but I am going to use the information that I've already gained from based on what has happened. Like I literally see this Ace of Pentacles as being the top of the pyramid, and at the bottom of the pyramid is all the things that you have ever done in your life, all the things that you've known, all the people you've met, all of that, like even all of your ancestors. You know how they say we're standing on the shoulders of giants? I feel like you are being able to look and see all the things that it took for you to get into this exact moment. And you're asking yourself, all right, what next? What do I want to do next? I want to be intentional about it. I did a whole bunch of stuff because, the pyramid, it starts out huge down at the bottom, huge. But at the top is this one little tiny point. So it's like there were so many things that were done before. But if you're intentional, like you sit on top of this little tiny point and you're intentional about what you're doing, you can really focus in on what it is that you want and focus in on all the aspects of all the things that you've ever done, your ancestors have done, anybody has done. You can focus in on that and take the pieces that you need to take with you and go and, do that thing or whatever it is that you want to accomplish. It's like, take those pieces with you. That's what I see here in Justice. It's like, these are the things that work for me. I'm going to take them with me. I'm not going to take what doesn't work for me. Why would I worry about that? I'm going to say, ooh, that didn't work for me. Thanks for letting me know that's not my path. I'm going to go on this one that is my path. I think it's just a way of looking at things. Being at the top of this pyramid, you have so much knowledge from all the things that have happened before, all the things you've done before, all the things like all the energy that you've put into it before. You're right here at the top and you know you're going to like focus. Gosh, this is reminding me of sight lines. I don't know if you guys go camping or if you ever like do mapping, but you need a sight line based on where you are now to get to where you want to be. You know, like in Boy Scouts, if you're lost, if you want to walk in a straight line, you need to first sight out an object in the direction that you want to go and then walk to that object, and then you sight it out again and then you walk to that other object until you keep going in that straight line to get to your destination, because you can't see it on the ground. You're not zoomed out when you're on the ground. But if you have this compass and you're able to make that sight line to where it is that you want, you can easily walk to a straight line there rather than trying to blindly walk into a straight line. So right now it's just like us getting that compass. We have that perspective that we need in order for us to get to where we got to go. What is it that I need? What am I good at? I've been trying my entire life I wanted to become, I always say this, an astronaut. I wanted to become an astronaut my entire life, but I've been playing. I haven't been studying, blah, 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 but now I see, oh, I haven't been studying because I do want to become an astronaut, but I actually don't want to become an astronaut that flies. I want to be one of the mechanics. I've been trying to work on flight stuff, but I'm really not good at that because that's not where my passion lies. But when it comes to mechanics and understanding how things work and fixing things that break, that's my gift and passion. That's it. So now that I'm more focused, I can sight my line to become an astronaut. All right, I'm starting here where I am with this passion for mechanics. Now I got to go get the degree. Now I got to go get the experience. Now I got to go have my contacts who will get me to NASA. You know what I'm saying? Or I guess they have other companies out there. It doesn't have to be NASA now. But you know what I'm saying? Like really sitting back and understanding the things that have been in the way of you achieving and understanding, okay, this is what needs to be done to get past them. Taking the things that work for you, leaving the stuff behind that doesn't. And then magician, come on now. Magician. What were we talking about this entire reading? Creating our lives, like being the ones, we're not even playing chess. We are observing the chess. And then if we feel like intervening, look at this. This is us intervening. This is us making decisions. Like it really reminds me of like we are, oh, what is the word? We're spiritual beings in a physical world. There's a saying, I can't think of it right now, but it's like the concept of us, being spirits that never die. But right now we are physically embodied in these bodies that they do die, the bodies. But us, like the people that we really are, is that everlasting spirit. If we get closer to that spirit, like that truth of who we are, then we can really see who is behind their directing things. Who is behind their making these decisions. Like I feel like this is the energy of us kind of like ripping the veil back and really seeing who we are, who our everlasting spirit is. My everlasting spirit is funny. My everlasting spirit loves music. My everlasting spirit is an adventurer, bold. I just thought that, those were things that were not important when it comes to my character and who I really am. But if I see, that's why I gravitate towards these certain things, because I love fun and I love adventure and I love, it really helps you to understand who you truly are, not just what patterns that you have been following since you were a child because you have been on those routines forever. No, that's just a routine. That's not who you are. Who are you actually? It's really getting to the meat and bones. That analogy feels wrong. It's getting to the truth of who you actually are and making decisions based off of that rather than the things that have happened to you or the things that you've achieved or the things you're good at. No, make the decisions based off what you truly desire and then use the things that you're good at because you've learned all this to go and get them. All right, that is our reading. So exciting. I'm going to see you all in the next one. Thank you.